It was just another ordinary Thursday night, or so I thought. I got home from work earlier than usual, planning a little surprise, her favorite takeout, a quiet dinner, maybe finish the movie we'd started last weekend. But the moment I stepped inside, something felt off. The air was too loud. I heard her laughing, louder than normal, and then a man's voice followed. A voice I didn't recognize. My stomach dropped, but I kept walking, trying to stay composed. In the living room, she was seated far too comfortably next to a man I'd never seen. His arm casually draped along the back of the couch, nearly touching her shoulder. She didn't flinch when she noticed me standing there. No guilt, no shock, just a lazy smile. "You're home early," she said, almost like she wished I wasn't. I stood there, hands full of food, my heart pounding in my ears. "Who's this?" I asked, eyes fixed on the man. He didn't bother to stand. He leaned back instead, smug and relaxed, and said, "I'm Ryan. We've been seeing each other for a bit now." No hesitation, no shame. And then she twisted the knife. "He's going to be the father of my child," she said, her lips curling into a half smile. "I want a baby, just not with you." The world spun. Rage, pain, disbelief. They all collided at once. But I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I just walked past them silently and went into the bedroom. I didn't speak for the rest of the night. But inside, something had snapped. We had spent 7 years building a life together. I gave her stability, loyalty, affection. We had tried for 2 years to start a family, and though nothing came of it, I never blamed her. She, on the other hand, chose betrayal instead of honesty. That night, while they lounged in the living room drinking wine and exchanging smirks, I was in the guest room, doors locked, setting things in motion. I'd suspected her for a while. The way she guarded her phone, the sudden late nights. I'd already planted a hidden camera in the hallway. It caught everything that night. Every word, every look, every act of betrayal. By morning, I was a different man. I cooked breakfast, packed her lunch, kissed her cheek like nothing had changed. She looked pleased. That evening, I told her I had to leave town for a work trip. She barely lifted her eyes from her phone and said, "Good, more time for us." I checked into a hotel. From there, I forwarded everything to my attorney. Texts, images I'd found on her cloud, footage from that night. Within a few days, the divorce papers were ready. But I wasn't finished yet. I sent an anonymous tip to her employer, along with proof of her and Ryan's workplace affair. Photos, messages, location data. 2 days later, she was fired. She never saw it coming. Then I sold the house. She always thought of it as ours, but legally it had always been mine. I bought it before our wedding, and her name was never on the deed. When she returned home one day to see movers clearing the place out, she went into panic mode, screaming and dialing my number. I answered calmly, told her she had 3 days to find somewhere else. When she threatened to take half of everything, I explained I had documented proof of her infidelity, video and written. The papers had already been filed on grounds of adultery. Silence. Her parents called next, asking me to reconsider. I sent them the same footage. They never contacted me again. Ryan disappeared shortly after. Guess playing dad wasn't on his to-do list. She was left jobless, homeless, and dumped by the man she'd gambled everything on. Then the calls started. The texts, apologies, desperate pleas for forgiveness, promises that it was all a mistake. I ignored them all, blocked her number, changed my email, focused on me for once, traveled, reconnected with old friends, rediscovered passions I'd shelved during our marriage. I began to breathe again, laugh without effort, sleep without knots in my stomach. Months later, word reached me through someone we both knew. She was crashing at a distant cousin's place and working part-time at a nearby diner. The same woman who once mocked me in front of her lover now wiped tables for a living. She expected me to beg, to break down, to compete for her attention. But I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I simply let her destroy herself. And when she told me that man would give her a baby, she unknowingly gave me something too. A reason. A reason to end her chapter in my life without fanfare. And I did. Coldly, quietly, permanently, I walked away while she sank.